Good morning Year 8 and welcome to today's maths lesson. For today's lesson you're going to need a calculator, and it needs to be a scientific one that's got the pi symbol on it. Here's today's starter. Can you round 7.89 to one decimal place for me? By using substitution, if x is equal to 5, what is 2x squared? And finally, can you share 16 in the ratio 1 to 3? Pause the video and answer these questions in your light blue books now. Right, let's go through the answers. For the first one, I wanted to round this number to one decimal place. So I need to look at the number in the second decimal place column, which is 9. 9 is greater than 5, so I know I need to round my 8 up. So to one decimal place, that will give me 7.9. For the second question, if I'm substituting, wherever I see an x, I now need to write the number 5. So if I've got x squared, that now becomes 5 squared, which is 5 times 5, which gives me 25. So Beatrice, what's 2 times x squared? 50, exactly. We've got 2 times 25, which will give me 50. And finally, can you share 16 in the ratio 1 to 3? Well, let's think about it in terms of parts. If I've got a ratio with 1 on this side, make that blue, and then on the other side, I've got 3 lots, one, two, three. There's my bar model. I know that my whole bar altogether is going to be worth 16. So each of those parts is going to be worth 4. 4, 4, 4, and 4, as I've divided 16 by my number of parts. So sharing 16 in the ratio 1 to 3 will give me 4 to 4, 8, and 12. Let's head into today's lesson. What does pi mean? Pause the video for a minute, type in pi into your calculator and press equals. What do you get? So pi is just a number, and that number is approximately 3.142. It goes on forever, but it's just a number. We're going to use it. So pens down, eyes on me. I'm going to go through some examples on the left hand side, and there's some for you to do on your mini whiteboards or in your light blue books afterwards. You're going to need a scientific calculator to do this. So first of all, if x is equal to 3, what is x squared? Well, we're substituting in. X squared becomes 3 squared. X squared is going to be 9. Next question, if x is equal to 3, what's 3.14 times x squared? Well, now we've just got 3.14 multiplied by 9. If I take out my scientific calculator and write that in, 3.14 times 9 gives me 28.26. So, what's pi x squared going to be? Now I can write this in two different ways. I can write it in terms of pi or as an exact value to one decimal place. Pi x squared, remember pi is just a number, is going to be pi times 9. So in terms of pi, I can just write that as 9 lots of pi. If I want it as an exact term, I need to type into my calculator 9 times pi, which gives me 28.3 to one decimal place. Over to you, Year 8, in exactly the same way. Please pause the video for 10 minutes and have a go at these questions. If x is equal to 5, what do each of these give you? And if x is equal to 7, what do each of these give you? Pause the video and answer those questions in your light blue books now, please. And these are the answers. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, on the left-hand side of the board, I've got radiuses. And on the right-hand side of the board, I've got non-radiuses. Pause the video and have a little look. What do you think the radius might be? Luca, what do you think the radius might be? Exactly, it's just the distance from the centre of a circle to the outside. The line joining the centre of the circle to the edge of the circle. These aren't radii because they do not go from the centre to the outside. This one's a tangent, this one's a diameter, this one's a chord. None of those are radii. How about now, Year 8? Pause the video. What do you think the diameter might be? Okay, let's go through it. So on the left-hand side we've got diameters, and they're straight lines going all the way across a circle through the centre. On the right-hand side I've got non-diameters. This one we've just worked out is a radius. I've got a tangent, I've got another radius, and I've got a chord. So diameter is just the line joining one edge of the circle straight through the middle to the other. So if I was given the diameter, which is the distance all the way across, and I wanted to find the radius, which is halfway across, what would I need to do, Lily May? Exactly, I'd need to divide my diameter by 2. My radius is my diameter divided by 2, or if I was given the radius and I wanted to find out what the diameter is, I'd need to do diameter is 2 times my radius. So for this example, my diameter is 20, so my radius would be 10. My radius is 10, so my diameter is twice that, which is 20. Okay, Year 8, in your light blue books for me, I'm going to go through an example and then you're going to do an example. To start us off, can anyone remind me, what's the formula for the area of a circle? Libby, what do you reckon it is? Exactly, it's pi r squared. That's why we've been doing all this practice with pi, where r is the radius. So if I was given this circle, where the radius is 10, and I was asked to find the area, I know the area is equal to pi times the radius squared. In this case, the radius is 10, so I've got pi times 10 squared, which in terms of pi is just 100 pi. If I wanted to write that as an exact value, I'd need to use my calculator, type in 100 times pi, and I get 314.2 centimetres squared. Over to you, Year 8. In your light blue books, please pause the video and have a go at this question for me. Okay, let's go through it to check we're all confident. In terms of pi, I know the area is equal to pi r squared. This time, my radius is 5, so my area of my circle is just pi times 5 squared, which is 25 pi. For the second part of the question, I'm asked what is that as an exact value. At this point I take out my calculator, type in 25 times pi, and I get 78.5. Okay, Year 8, mini whiteboards or light blue books, pause the video for a minute or two and have a go at this question for me. Right, let's go through the answer. To find the area of this circle, I need to do pi r squared. This time r is 3, so pi r squared is 9 pi. R squared would be 9 times by pi, and if I type that into my calculator as an exact value, I get 20.7 centimetres squared. Okay, year 8, what's the area of this circle? Pause the video for a minute or two and work that out now. Okay, this time my radius is 6, so r squared is going to be 36. So in terms of pi, I'm looking at 36 pi centimetres squared, and as an exact value, that would give me 113.1. How about now? Pause the video in your light blue books. What's the area of this circle? Okay, this time my radius is 6.6, so I need to do 6.6 squared, which gives me 43.56 pi, and as an exact value, if you type into your calculator 43.56 times pi, you'll get 136.8 centimetres squared. How about now? I've given you the diameter this time, and you need to work out what the radius is to start with. Pause the video, have a little think, work that out now. Okay, to work out the area of this circle, I first of all need to work out what the radius is. And to do that, I just need to divide my diameter by 2, because we know the radius is just half of the diameter. So the radius is going to be 6. R is 6, so r squared is 36. So in terms of pi, the area is 36 pi. And if I type that into my calculator, I get 113.1. How about now, year 8? How good are you? Pause the video. What's the area of this circle? Let's go through it. This time the radius is going to be what, Vicky? 12, lovely. So pi r squared is just pi times 12 squared, which is 144 pi. And as an exact value, that's 452.4. Okay, year 8, please pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and have a go at these questions for me. For each of these circles, I want you to work out the area. I want you to write it in terms of pi and then using your calculator, calculate it as an exact value. If you're confident, have a go at my extension question at the bottom. Pause the video for 10 to 15 minutes and work out the area of these circles now. And these are the answers, year 8. Please check your work and see how you did. Okay, year 8, if you are confident with that, please pause the video for 5 to 10 minutes and have a go at these two questions. I haven't given you the question, I've just asked you, what can you work out? Can you work out the area of any circles? Can you work out the area of any squares you can see? Anything else you can work out? Pause the video, have a go. You could, for example, work out the area of this square. You could work out the area of this rectangle, the area of the circles, anything you like. Pause the video, off you go. And here's a load of things you could have worked out. You could have worked out the area of that square, which is 49 centimetres squared. You could have worked out the area of the circle, which is 121 pi. You could have worked out the shaded area by doing 121 pi take away 49. Any of those were possible. For the second one, you could have worked out the area of the rectangle, which was 170 centimetres squared. You could have worked out the area of one of the circles, which would give you 9 pi. And you could have worked out the shaded area by doing the area of the rectangle, subtract the area of the two circles. Okay, year 8. A circle's radius is 5 centimetres. What's the area of the circle? Give your answer to one decimal place for me. Pause the video and work that out now. Right, let's go through the answer. We've got area is equal to pi r squared. This time r is equal to 5. 5 squared is 25, so my area is 25 pi. And if I type that into my calculator, the correct answer is C, 78.5. Okay, year 8, please pause and think about this question for me. What's the area of this circle? This time give your answer to 2 decimal places. Right, let's go through it. My area is equal to pi r squared. This time I've been given my diameter, so my radius is just half of that, which is 10. So my area is going to be pi times 10 squared, which gives me 100 pi. And if I type that into my calculator, the correct answer is A, 314.16. Okay, Year 8, please pause the video for a couple of minutes. What's the area of a circle with diameter 10? Leave your answer in terms of pi. Okay, let's go through it. This time I've got area is equal to pi r squared. I've been given the diameter is 10, so my radius is half of that, so it must be 5. So the area is going to be pi times 5 squared, which gives me D, 25 pi. And finally, Year 8, please pause the video for a couple of minutes. What's the area of this shape? Okay, let's go through it. I'm going to start by finding the area of the whole circle. I've been given the diameter, so I know my radius is equal to 6. I know the area is equal to pi r squared, which is pi times 6 squared, which is 36 pi. However, that would be the area of the whole circle. In this case, I've only got half of it, so I need to divide 36 pi by 2, which gives me C, 18 pi. And that's the end of today's lesson, Year 8. Please head on over to Google Classroom and submit today's exit ticket. Have a lovely day and thank you for listening. Goodbye.